Hi, this is John Isles and welcome to Geometer's Paradise. Today we're talking about midpoints and we're doing the solutions guide to the 4-2 midpoints lesson. Let's begin. We're doing a mean here. To do a mean, we're going to have to add all of these values up and divide by the number of numbers. There's a calculator. Alright, here we go. So we've got 8, 9, 12, 15, another 15, 17, and 20. So it looks like 96. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these values, so I'm going to divide that by 7, which means our mean is 13.714. One of the interesting things about averages, actually that doesn't look right. Did I miss something? 8, 9, 12, 15, another 15, 17, and 20. Nope, yeah. Oh, because of the 8. Anyway, 13.714. You'll notice that it's going to land somewhere in the middle. The median of this is going to be the number value that is right in the middle. Notice that that number is 15. And then the mode is going to be the number that occurs the most often, which is the 15, so it occurs twice. Alright, looking at midpoints on the number line. Here we see 2 points A and B on the number line. What is the value of point A? It will be -3. What is the value of point B? It is 5. If you want to find the midpoint between these two values, you're going to add them, -3 plus 5, and then you're going to divide by 2. So -3 plus 5 is 2, divided by 2, which is 1. Alright, using the number line to check, to calculate the midpoint between these values, let's toss an equation in here. And I'm going to switch to a fraction. There we go. So here we go. Alright, A and E. A is the point -3 plus E, which is 7, divided by 2. So this is, I need another fraction bar. Perfect, let's just pop that down there. Alright, -3 plus 7 is 4, divided by 2, which is 2. Alright, C and G. C is 1 plus G, which is 10, over 2. This is 11 over 2, which is equal to 5.5. I ran out of room. There. Oh, that's ugly. Better. Alright, and now we've got C and D. C is 1. Actually, I want to need that fraction bar again. Oh boy. There, okay. We've got 1 plus D, which is 12. So we're looking at 13 over 2, which is 7.5. No, it's not. That was a lie. Don't believe everything you hear on the internet. Okay. F is, let's see, where's F at? -2. So if I've got -2 over 2, oops, that didn't work. -2 over 2. Oh, no. Not -2 over 2. -2 over 2. There we go. And H is 15. Okay, plus sign maybe. So 15 minus 2 is 13 over 2, which is, hey, look at that. Same, 6.5. Alright. Midpoints on the coordinate plane. This is a multi-step ordeal. We want to look at the coordinates of any point. So if I look at the coordinates of point A, it's -3, 6. The coordinates of point B are 3, 5. So if I want the midpoint of the x coordinate, I'm going to add the x's. That's -3 plus 3, which is 0 divided by 2, which is 0. The midpoint of the y coordinate would be 6 plus 5, which is 11, divided by 2, which is 5.5. And I clearly did not leave enough room on these tables for this. So what's the midpoint as an ordered pair? Well, the x coordinate is 0 and the y coordinate is 5.5. Alright, so here we want to do C and E. So we want the midpoint between C and E. We're just going to kind of operate in our heads here just for a little bit. 1 plus 6, the x coordinates between C and E. 1 plus 6 is 7 divided by 2, it's 3.5. The y coordinate is 2 plus a negative 4, that's negative 2 divided by 2, which is negative 1. So the ordered pair here is 3.5, negative 1. Yeah, totally didn't leave enough room. That's craziness right there. Oops. Okay, between D and F, we got negative 2 and negative 1. So negative 2 plus negative 5 is negative 7, divided by 2 is negative 3.5. The y coordinate is negative 1 plus negative 4, which is negative 5, divided by 2, which is negative 2.5. So my ordered pair is negative 3.5, negative 2.5. How about between B and D? Here's B, here's D. 3 plus negative 2 is 1, divided by 2 is 0.5. And then 5 plus negative 1 is 4, divided by 2, which is 2. So the ordered pair is 0.5, 2. Alright, now this is where it gets hard. We want to use the midpoints to calculate the endpoints. I believe I already did this one, but I'll do it again. I'm going to copy this equation up here, so I just copy it, I highlight it and press Control C, and then I press Control V to get it down here. We want to put the endpoint, or the y value of the midpoint, which is 4, right here. And then we want to put the y value of the endpoint, which is 7, right here. Alright, so we get 4 equals 7 plus y sub 2 over 2. This is called substitution. Now I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. Alright, and we end up with an expression that looks kind of like this. It's going to be 8 equals 7 plus y sub 2. I'm just going to call it y now. There's really no reason to call it y sub 2 anymore. Multiply by 2. Then we subtract 7 from both sides, so that 1 is equal to y by subtracting 7. So the ordered pair, that is this solution B, is 2, 1. Okay, to do these practice problems, you're going to have to set up GeoGebra. Setting up GeoGebra is not so hard to do. You need to show the grid and the axes. When you do that, you'll notice that there's probably going to be some numbers up here. You just kind of drag those until the first number gets close to 0. Like if you're clear over here in the negatives, you want to drag it towards the positives. When you find the line, just kind of scroll up until you get the whole thing in your screen. Then go to Options, Advanced, switch over to Graphics Preferences, and Grid. Click on Distance and change these to 1s. Okay, that will show single unit spots. Now, alright, so shrink the frame down so that it is roughly square. Draw 2 points anywhere in the frame, connect them with a segment, and plot the midpoint. Alright, so here we go. 2 points anywhere in the frame. Oh, options, point capturing, fixed to grid is going to help us out a lot. So how about this one and that one? Alright, and then we want to plot the midpoint, so use the midpoint tool to do that. Boom. Alright, so here we go. We need the coordinates of the endpoints. So here is A. That's interesting. Here is A, and here is B. Alright, let's get a picture of this. I've got to figure out a way to make it the pictures that I'm loading in smaller. I noticed that my last test was like 12.5 megabytes in size, and that's huge. And it's because of these pictures that I'm importing from GeoGebra and how big they are. So I'm wondering if there's a way to reduce the default size of those pictures. Anyway, we're calculating the x-coordinate. So here we go. Let's get an equation. Let's use this one up here. The x-coordinate. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and paste this on all the x-coordinates. There. That'll be useful. Wow, how many did I make you guys do? That must be insane. Alright, so the endpoints. x1 is -9. x2 is +3 over 2. So this is equal to -9 plus 3 is -6 over 2, which is -3. So the x-coordinate is -3. Let's do the y-coordinate now. Let's get the y-coordinate here. That's this one. There's the y. Here's a y, a y, a y, another y, and one more y because I said so. Okay, and this is the y-coordinate of the top point. y1 is 6. So 6 plus y2 -3. Notice that I preserved the order. Ooh, that was crazy. 6 minus 3. Okay, not plus or minus. Notice that I preserved the order here. See, I used A first and then B, and down here I did A first and then B. This is important. Okay, if you don't do this, actually that should be plus and minus 3. If you don't preserve the order of the points like this, then you're not always going to preserve it, and sometimes it's important, like when we do distance formulas. Okay, so this is going to be equal to 6 minus 3, which is 3 over 2, which is 1.5. So 1.5 is our y-coordinate. Then our midpoint is at 3, 1.5. Okay. Now we're going to do another one. Alright, we're going to create another midpoint. So here we go. Back to GeoGebra. Let's move A somewhere else. How about there? And let's move B down here. There. Okay, something like that. Alright, take another picture. Control-Shift-C. Notice that I didn't redraw the picture. I just moved A and B around, because that's all you have to do. So here we go. Alright, A is 2. Whoops. B is -8. I did it again. Now what it's doing is it's seeing me write plus and minus together. I don't want it to do that, but that's what it's assuming. So when that happens, okay, if you just backspace, so see it's going to assume that you want this symbol, but you don't. So just backspace, and it's going to stop it and make them two separate symbols. Alright, so 2 minus 8 is -6 divided by 2, which is -3. So the x value is -3. And look, it even shows -3 on the graph. That's pretty cool. Alright, the y value is going to be 6 plus 0. That's 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So the midpoint is -3, 3. Notice that the x value is always happening first here. Okay. Let's do it again. Hey, you know what? Let's change it up. Let's change it up. Let's take and make them both big positive numbers, like this. Whee! All right. This is craziness what I'm doing here. Whoa, it's like 25. Okay, so resize the window. Oops. Resize the window. Oh man, notice that I've got these little black things in the corner. Make the axes go away and you don't have to worry about those. Alright. I need to worry about clicking on the frame though. And maybe moving that B value like in here or something. Okay. Let's get this one in. Oh boy, I hope that didn't. Okay, there we go. And pasted, resized. Alright, so X is 8 and X for B is 25. 8 plus 25 over 2, that's 33 over 2, which is something insane, like, is that 16.5? And then down here, we're going to have the Y's, 18 plus 11 divided by 2. So here we're looking at 29 over 2. Uh-oh, another decimal number. Let's see, 28 divided by 2 is 14, right? So this is going to be 14.5. Okay, you kind of know when you're doing these that you're going to get a fractional answer. And it's basically whenever you've got an even number and an odd number. If you got an even number and an odd number, you're going to end up with a fractional answer. It's just the way it works. Okay, now we're changing it up. Okay, we're changing it up. Instead of doing the two endpoints, we want to do a midpoint. So change the C value so it's showing its value. Change the B value so that it's not. So it's just the name. Okay. Same thing now. We just want to reposition these points. You could save yourself a lot of grief by making sure that the C value is decimal. Okay. Like that. Okay. So here we have C at 20.65. and A at 18 and 3. There it is. Alright, now, what's different about this one? Whoa. 6.5. That was a mistake. There we go. Just kidding. Okay, so let's do the x's here. X midpoint is 20 and x sub 1 is 18. So we've got this kind of a setup here. Now what's going to happen is that we're going to multiply that 20 by 2 and then we're going to subtract the 18 and we're going to end up with 22. So x2's value is 22. Alright, my, if I can get it highlighted. I cannot. Alright, my is 7 and the y1 value is 4. So what's going to happen here is we're going to double that 7. We're going to end up multiplying by 2. We're going to double the 7 and then I'm going to subtract the 4. Alright, and we're going to end up at 10. So my answer is going to be 22, 10, and I see another error. This shouldn't say midpoint, and this should say endpoint. Endpoint. Alright, let's do it again. It's entirely likely, just so you know, that the buzzer's going to go off on the stove here in a few minutes. If it does, just ignore it. Okay?
There.
Well, that's fun. Let's do this one. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Okay, yeah, this is kind of important. Let's do this one. This is a very interesting example. It's a vertical line. Midpoints and endpoints on vertical, let's not flip it, on vertical lines have a very interesting trait. And that is that the one value is not going to change. The x value should be 6 when we're done, because it's on the line 6. So anyway, let's have a look. The middle value of x, mx, is 6. And that's going to be equal to the x1 value, the a value, which is 6 over 2 plus x2. Alright, now, when we do this, we're going to double the 6, which is 12. And then we're going to subtract 6, and we get 6. So the answer is 6. Doing this next one, we've got 2 as my middle value. So we plug in negative 4, which is the other endpoint, and then we make a mistake again. Surprise. Alright, here we go. 2 times 2 is 4, and then we're going to subtract a negative 4. We're actually going to add 4 to both sides this time. So, whoa, crazy, right? So that's going to be 8. So this is 6, 8. Look at that. So the x coordinate didn't change. What do you suppose is going to happen with a horizontal line? I'll give you a moment to think about it. Did you think that it wasn't going to change? The y coordinate maybe? You would be right. Alright, and I'm just experiment. You can see how that's going to work. Alright, so I showed the axes again. Let's drag this guy over here to be negative. You shouldn't be negative, but you know, sometimes that happens. Alright, last problem. I cannot resize it anymore. It's all like, no, you're not going to resize this picture anymore. Okay, so I'll leave it be. The x-coordinate of the midpoint is 0. The x-coordinate of the other endpoint is negative 6. So we're looking here at doubling 0, which is 0, and then adding 6, which is 6. So the b value is 6. B's x-coordinate is 6. The midpoint is 2. The other endpoint's value is negative 4. So when we multiply here, 2 times 2 is 4. We're going to end up adding 4 to it because this is a minus 4 over here. So 4 plus 4 is 8. There it is. So our other ordered pair is at 6, 8, which of course we can see x is 6, y is 8 on the graph. Alright, that's it. Have a good evening, afternoon, morning, midnight, whatever.